Here are three reasons why I hold XCN. Even though nothing I say is financial advice, I can only speak on my behalf. But the first reason is because the hypothetical upside, in my opinion, doesn't seem that bad to me. I can't speak on anyone's behalf, but 25 cents for XCN is around a 16.5x from here if it were to ever reach that. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, who cares about that? Well, I care about it because, in my opinion, when I take a look at something like Bitcoin, something like Ethereum, I mean, Bitcoin at 300 grand, less than a 3x from here. Ethereum at 10 grand, also less than a 3x from here. Yeah, I mean, if I got into Bitcoin, for instance, years ago, that's a different case. But as of right now, if I had a choice, XCN, Bitcoin, or Ethereum, hands down, I'm going to have to choose XCN for me. Even though I get it, it's an altcoin, way lower market cap. Some people arguably say, hey, there's more risk here. I'm totally aware of that, but it's just something I would rather believe in because, again, less than a 3x from here, I just don't know how I feel about that. Not to mention, it wouldn't seem that, I think, unrealistic to see maybe 25 cents because going to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $8.5 billion. Again, around a 16.5x from here. We take a look at Onyx, which is, focused on payments, focused on global trade and finance. The leader when it comes to that market as of right now, I would say is Ripple. Now we take a look at XRP, market cap is well beyond 100 billion. So around an $8.5 billion market cap isn't even 10% of that. And many people would argue we're not in a fully fledged type of altcoin season and XRP is already doing that. So let's say if the altcoin season was fully fifth gear, are we saying maybe this doesn't seem that unrealistic? Like for instance, $8.5 billion market cap? Wouldn't seem that surprising to me. Not to mention, when I take a look at Onyx, I just think it's in this unique position where it doesn't really have that many competitors. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. For instance, of course, like I mentioned before, I think Ripple is the market leader when it comes to, these type of projects like Onyx. But what's number two? I take a look at Stellar, of course, XLM, very big market cap, but I wouldn't really consider them the direct competitors when it comes to Onyx because Onyx is never overtaking that. Now, we have to take a look at the kind of other options other than those two, right, within this space that are reputable and somewhat famous, in my opinion. There's Zebec, otherwise known as ZBCN. We take a look at XDC. We take a look at XPR, Swiftcoin. I mean, that's four. That's not that many, in my opinion. If I had mentioned 20, 30, 40, that's a different case, like what we see with blockchain gaming or NFTs. Decentralized finance, there's a lot there. This space doesn't really have that many competitors, which I find actually pretty surprising, but not that surprising, because I can assume what probably caused this. Like, for instance, I think the Ripple and SEC stuff that happened for quite a while, I think that probably deterred some developers from wanting to join in on this space. I'm totally aware of that. So then it actually is now a good thing at the end, right? It didn't seem like a good thing before because the reputation when it comes to the space wasn't the best, but now because that did happen, Onyx doesn't have that many good competitors, in my opinion. Or should I say at least the famous ones. So there's not that many competitors. And if, let's say, people believe in this space and there's not that many options to believe in to begin with that are popular, personally for me, if I don't have many options, the ones that are remaining, I'm going to have a higher probability in terms of wanting to believe in those projects, right? So then this is just the way I take a look at it. Now, not to mention Onyx focus on the payments market. That's currently valued at over $2 trillion. Now, to just put some perspective into this, the AI market, which is predicted to reach nearly $2 trillion by 2030, according to Grandview Research, the payments market doesn't have to wait 5 years to reach that size. We take a look at the global trade and finance market, which is predicted to reach up to $5 trillion in value by 2028. I like the markets that Onyx is focused on. Onyx is also focused on, launching the mainnet of Goliath, which is supposedly this layer one blockchain for the world of finance. They're planning to launch the mainnet in Q1 of next year in 2026 and the testnet in Q3 of this year. We'll see what they do with that, but I do like the direction in which they're heading. They're also focused on the wallet, right? Which, we'll have to wait and see about that. But when it comes to Onyx overall, I think that it's a pretty solid project to me. And if I take a look at it historically speaking, altcoins typically, as a worst case scenario, they usually peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. 18 months from the last Bitcoin halving event is around October this year. So, in my opinion, maybe I might not have to wait that long, but who knows? It may happen later. But whatever the case may be, I've seen what XCN did not too long ago, and that wasn't even a fully fledged type of altcoin season. There wasn't really much to grasp onto when it comes to Onyx in terms of talking about Goliath or like the wallet or really much else, right? Back then it was just kind of considered a watered down version of Ripple and Stellar, and it still did that. Again, XCN, historically speaking. So now that there's more to latch onto, in my opinion, in terms of fundamentals, if we do ever see a fully fledged type of altcoin season, what would XCN do then? 25 cents maybe would not be that surprising to me. Now, again, nothing I say is financial advice. I do not know the future. There is no guarantees, but the way I view it is this. Back in the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was around 300 million crypto owners, which was very impressive at that time. Now there's over 600 million, way more crypto owners. Now, how will that translate to a fully fledged type of altcoin season? We'll see, but I saw what it did, back then with way less crypto owners. Now, some people may argue, hey, there's more competitors as of right now. I agree with that, but a lot of these competitors, right, quote unquote, they're usually these type of meme coins, and I think it's because there are so many launch pads, people just keep launching meme coins, and they're not really direct competitors when it comes to Onyx, in my opinion. So, again, is there that many good competitors within the space that Onyx is in? I don't think not really, because like I mentioned earlier on the video, there's pretty much 4 viable ones in my opinion. In the grand scheme of things, maybe there's a lot more competition, but then within the space that it's in, not really, in my opinion. I mean, 4 competitors is not that much, in my opinion, in the grand scheme of things, especially when I compare it to other markets, which have way more. This is just my perspective. So, in the meantime, what am I going to be doing? It's very simple, actually. I'm going to be doing what I've been doing throughout this whole time, and that's dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. That's it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And again, it boils down 3 reasons as to why I believe in XCN. I like the fundamentals. The hypothetical upside doesn't, seem too bad to me. However, only time will tell when it comes to that. Not to mention, maybe the altcoin season, the peak of it, doesn't seem too far, at least based off history. Who knows, though? Only time will tell if it ever even does happen. So for those 3 reasons, I am a fan of XCN, and that's why, I am not, not believing in it, I would say. So this is, again, 3 reasons why I decided to hold XCN. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's only the captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.